Aotearoa-based Māori fashion designer has had his designs featured on catwalks throughout Europe, from Paris to London Fashion Week and British Vogue Magazine. A first for a Māori fashion designer. This year he had a hand in designing the kākahu of the winners of this year's Te Matatini Hereinga Waka Hereinga Tangata 2023. Māori fashion designer Kharl WiRepa no Te Whānau-ā-Apanui, Tainui me Te Aroa is with us now. Tēnā koe, Kharl. Thank you for joining us.
Morena, Neil. Thank you for having me back on the show. It's great to be here today.
It's nice to be talking to you again. A lot's happened since we spoke last. What does it mean to you for your iwi to become this year's champions of the Kapa Haka Olympics, Te Matatini?
For me personally, as someone from Te Whānau-ā-Apanui, it brings a lot of pride that the Rōpū had such great success this year, because I know that there was a lot of people that worked behind the scenes, not just with the performers and the kākahu, but people that were working on, aunties that were working on the maraes in the kitchens during the rehearsals, the composer, Riki Gage, the people that create the actions. There's a whole tribe, a whole whānau that goes behind the creation of excellence, and that's definitely what Te Whānau-ā-Apanui achieved this year.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Look, tell us, what were you involved with to do with the kākahu or uniform for the Te Matatini champions, Te Whānau-ā-Apanui? Did you add anything to the kākahu?
So this year we were invited to come and tailor the new kākahu for Te Whānau-ā-Apanui. The iwi had been using the same uniforms since 1988, which were the original pattern was drafted by Te Raita Delamere in 1988, and our piu were created by Nan Peters and her whānau in the year 2000, and we had Vicky DeMont and Georgie Williams involved in the design of the bands on the skirts about 10 years ago, and Nan Williams and Gillian Bronson were a part of the creation of that, and the original seamstress was Gillian Bronson back in the 1980s. So that's been a long time since Te Whānau-ā-Apanui had a new uniform. And this year, after consultation with iwi, in particular Te Rewiti Parepapa and Riki Gage and Vicky DeMont, we decided to bring in a new colour into the skirt, which is a beige skirt, and it honours the colour of the piu, because it brings out the colour of the flax, where the black and other colours contrast against the natural fibre. And the band on the skirt was moved to the hemline and created new balance. And I had some resistance to that from the iwi making that change, but we did that call because it moves so beautifully on stage when you watch the kākahu and you see that band on the bottom, and that band and that print in our pari and on our tātua a representation of the unification of the 13 hapu of Te Whānau-ā-Apanui, and we're really proud of that. And when coming into this project, we didn't want to move too far away from the original design of the kākahu, or bring in ideas that were new and theatrical, because my great-grandmother once said, Mary WiRepa, who was a landscape artist, she said, "You never desecrate the work of your old people." We do not have the right to go changing the work that was already created, and we never come in with new ideas when it comes to traditional work, and that's what makes Te Whānau-ā-Apanui a strong competitor on the Te Matatini stage, is that we just do old haka. It's not a theatre show. It's not a production. It's old haka. It's kapa haka. We do not go changing what we are tutored to, what our traditions or our values are. We stick to the tikanga, we stick to the kawa. There is no changing, but we do upgrade, we do polish, we do improve, and we do seek excellence.
Kharl, give us an idea of how different it is designing or being part of the design for the kākahu compared to the stunning gowns you usually design.
Well, first of all, there's little difference to the creation of the kākahu and our evening gowns. Everyone knows I work in the evening gown industry. we still applied those same techniques of creating an evening gown or a wedding gown into the creation and construction of the Te Whānau-ā-Apanui Kapa Haka uniforms. We created 106 new pieces of clothing within 16 days, and that was done at Pahawa Marae with our whānau, and we all came together and we created that, and we used evening gown tailoring techniques. So when you take a close look at our pari, you'll see there are no seams on the sides, that our garments are seamless. You will see that the tailoring of the skirt is completely sharp. The skirt band is actually lined. The pari is lined. We've put boning on the inside of the pari, so it was constructed in a way to bring in the wahine's waist to accentuate her form and create an hourglass figure, to accentuate the beauty. And when we went into this project, I knew we had to go in with full on tailoring techniques, that there was no shortcutting, and that we had to create the garments with excellence. The way it's been tailored, each garment, each putty took 12 hours to make.
Wow.
We had to make 26. We had to make 26 tatua, and then we had to make about 50 tea pari and other smaller things that went with the kākahu. So each one, and this is within 16 days, because my whānau only gave us 2 weeks notice to do this. So we pulled it off, but the tailoring of our kākahu is the same tailoring I put into my evening gowns. And why did we do that? Because I heard, when I went to Otupari Marae and Omaio to see the rehearsals, I listened to the waiata and the compositions of the music that Rikirangi Gage had brought together. And it was so beautiful that I knew that our level of creation needed to reach the same level of mana as the music, as the actions, as the way the pipi were created, and as the whole package for the brand, which is Te Whānau-ā-Apanui.
Well, look, there's obviously a lot more than some of us really appreciate, and it's really great to get some insights from you, from such a special designer, Māori fashion designer Kharl WiRepa. Thank you so much for joining us today, and congratulations again to your iwi Te Whānau-ā-Apanui. Ngā mihi.
Ngā mihi. Thank you very much.